Hello and welcome to this Monday morning episode of Fresh Squeezed. I know we are two unfamiliar faces on the channel, but today we will be sharing some important tips on travel budgeting and financing study abroad. I'm Max.
And I'm Charlotte.
And we just spent 4 months studying abroad and living in Berlin, Germany. We are lucky to be able to visit so many countries during our travel to Berlin. And we were able to explore on a budget, and these experiences we were able to see to their full potential.
So one thing that I will share about traveling is that you really don't realize how expensive your travel there will actually be. So especially when you're visiting a certain city or a certain country, before you even get to that location, my best advice is to look ahead and see what public transit system that city has. A lot of the times the tickets are virtual, or when you're there, if you buy a ticket from a kiosk, it's going to be a paper ticket. However, buying the paper ticket there before your travel is going to be much more expensive than if you were to pay a virtual ticket beforehand. While I was studying abroad, I tended to use a virtual QR ticket on my phone while traveling through Berlin. But a lot of the times when Max and I would visit other countries, we would use the kiosks.
Sometimes with the longer distance trains between countries, if you order 3 months ahead of time, the tickets will be about 40 to 50 euros. And if you order them the day of, they could be somewhere in the range of 100 to 150 euros. I found this out the hard way. We both did. I know when I was traveling to Spain, when I was supposed to visit my parents, my flight had gotten canceled out of Berlin, so I had to take a train to Dortmund and then fly out of Dortmund to Spain. And that train between Berlin to Dortmund, if I had placed ahead of time, it would have been a 40 euro train ticket, and I ended up spending nearly 160.
I was traveling back from Belgium to get back to my home city of Berlin, and my first train was delayed, and it ended up disrupting my entire travel plan. This resulted in me needing to spend over 300 euro just to get back in order for me to arrive at my class on time the next day. So you can avoid this typically pretty often. Some things are out of your control. But another tip I can give you is make sure that you also budget into your financial plan that these things can happen.
Definitely have some extra money put aside, so that way when these things happen, it's not an if, these things happen while you are traveling. When it happens, have some extra money so that way you can make your life a whole lot simpler when there are challenges.
I also had my wallet stolen, so making sure that you have either extra cash or a backup credit card or even a backup phone. You could be traveling alone somewhere, and if you don't keep your backpack zipped up enough, somebody could just come by and take it and you would never know. You would think you'd have misplaced it or anything. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how it happened. You are now without a phone or without a wallet. And, luckily I was surrounded by a lot of friends, and my parents were coming quite soon after the event happened where I lost everything. But I did have a backup credit card. Nowadays you can have, if you were like me and still had your phone, there's ways to access your bank account. There's ways to do virtual credit cards and things like that. So make sure you kind of have all those boxes checked as a backup for backups. And because it's kind of a little bit stressful when you realize you lost your main financial support system and you kind of got to scramble to figure out how to get back from another country.
My main advice on that would just also have cash on you of the local currency. Always spare roughly $100 so that way you can eat for the day if something does get stolen, and then figure everything out after that.
Also, a lot of the times people have phone cases with a wallet on the back of that phone case. Another tip I can give you is if you are traveling abroad, separate your wallet and your phone. Because if you get your phone stolen with that wallet on the back, you've now lost your phone and your wallet. So the person stealing your phone's like, hot dog, I get both the wallet and the phone, but now you're SOL. You don't have anything else. So separate your wallet and your phone. Make sure in your wallet you have an AirTag or something that you can locate, so that maybe you have, you can report it to the local police of that country. And I had to do a police report for my wallet being stolen, and if anything came up, they would respond back to me. So if you have a location, you can send a complaint to the local city's police, and they will file it and they will keep an eye out for it. But really, that's all you can do. So like I said, backup for backups. So make sure you plan ahead for financial travel. Plan for, unfortunate things to happen. Make sure that you have extra cash. Separate your phone and your wallet. And overall, don't stress about the things that are out of your control. Things happen. It's not supposed to ruin your trip. But if you plan out and you expect it to happen and you have things in place to help prevent stress or, create a backup option, definitely be sure to do that. It definitely makes for a lot of more enjoyable experiences instead of worrying about the hard stuff.
Definitely makes for some more enjoyable experiences.
Right.
Another tip for budgeting we have is to look into scholarship programs specifically for study abroad. Mm-hmm. So through my home university, Chatham University, I was able to receive a scholarship that covered my entire travel fees, at least to Europe. And that was very helpful while trying to budget ahead of time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to spend $1,000 to get there, to get back, spend money on a hotel. And it was very, very necessary for me to get that scholarship from Chatham to get there. And all it took was me writing an essay explaining why I deserved it.
Yeah. Just like regular universities in the United States or just kind of private organizations, there are grants and there is federal money for, all of those experiences in the United States. But there are also secondary organizations and there are also individual private organizations that will provide money for those who are traveling abroad. And my home university at the time was Gettysburg College. My program was a direct affiliation to my school, and in this case, I was able to, go through another program with other schools and get that experience. But they did do scholarships for that. I, however, did not receive a scholarship for my study abroad program, and the cost difference was significant. However, while I was abroad, I was also granted the opportunity to apply for an ambassadorship for social media. So, this required that I meet certain benchmarks on my social media platforms, whether that's posting a certain amount on my Instagram page or, tweeting about it or posting on Facebook or on my TikTok account, things like this that just kind of promote my program overall in its organization, in, all of the benefits that I received as a student through this affiliate program. And, at the conclusion of my program, I received $500 as compensation for the effort that I put in. And, also finishing the conclusion of my program, once I arrived back to the United States, I was also offered an opportunity to apply for a secondary ambassadorship while completing the rest of my undergraduate degree. And I would be given $1,000 to promote and to buy materials to create, whether it's a table at a college fair or to create a website that, talks about a blog regarding my travels and the things that my program provided for me. And then I would also receive $500 as compensation and whatever money is left over of the money that they gave me. And I would continuously be paid after that for my efforts. So while it's really just about seizing all the opportunities that you have, and instead of sitting back and saying, there's not anything here for me, I can't study abroad because of the financial options, you just might have to do a little bit more digging, and that might require a little bit more effort, but I promise you it'll pay off in the end. So another thing is most of these programs do offer housing, excursions, internship opportunities, and travel experiences, and they are all covered by the program and the money that you are paying. My program also, and some other programs do this, they split the experience into segments. So my program was split into 3 separate 6-week opportunities, where in each of these 6-week blocks, as they called it, I took 2 classes. And you could also be a student that decides, hey, I'm going to go for only 6 weeks because that's what I can afford. They make sure that you get the most out of that money that you are spending. Other programs, you can also do research for private organizations. They offer summer programs. There's also winter opportunities. So really any time of the year that you want to study abroad, it is possible for you to do so. You just might have to do more digging. And if you think about everything, have your backups for backups, it's definitely worth your while. If that's your way, as kind of like an all-inclusive way to get abroad, it's a very good way to get involved in the culture and be immersed in everything. So
our fresh slice for today is actually, if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. Just plan for your budget, know how much you're willing to spend, know how much time you're willing to take, and based on your budget, you may need to adjust your time, but you can make it a reality. You can